Hey guys, welcome to the Mind Hacking Happiness Podcast. I'm Sean Webb. So today we're presenting day 21 of the 45-day Mind Mastery 101 course that is usually $1,000. It's down to $0. We're giving it away for free. If you want it indefinitely, you got to go to mindhackinghappiness.com and sign up for the course there, and you'll have access to it forever. And we're changing the rules in the contest, by the way. If you get one person to say, my name here sent me, your name here, then you're entered into the drawing for the $100 gift card at the end of the program, and they are as well. Just for showing up and saying, hey, XYZ sent me. XYZ is in the drawing, and the person who said XYZ sent me is now also in the drawing. And for every individual you get to say, XYZ sent me, if XYZ is your name, then you will get 2 names in the hat. 2 times or 3 times or 4 times your name is in the hat for the pull on the prize. So hope things are finding you well. Here is day 21. Hey guys, welcome to day 21 of the 45-day Mind Hacking Happiness Mind Mastery 101. Okay, so yesterday, or a couple of days ago, day 20 was the day we figured out that we are not our mind, and that if we can see our mind, there has to be some sort of separation there existent within that space to be able to identify and perceive the thing that we are perceiving. And so if we are a small bit separated from that thing that we are perceiving, we are not that thing. And so today marks the day where we're going to start diving into, for the next few weeks, or couple weeks plus some, the individual emotion groups and the individual emotions, which are severities within those groups. And so you're going to start to learn the difference between what is your fear and what is your anger, and what is your sadness and what is your worry and what is your regret, and what is those individual specific emotions that arise within you. Now, what is this going to do for us? Okay, so after learning that we are not the machinations of our mind, we are now going to be able to identify the individual products of our mind and our emotional output, so that when those things start arising within us, we're able to handle them much quicker, we're able to identify them much easier, and that is going to remind us, because we can see that thing, we are not that thing, and thus we are not affected as much by that thing. Of course, we're all going to be affected by our emotions to a certain degree, right? But this is moving us from compulsion to choice, because our emotions are a good thing. We want to take note of them. We want to acknowledge them. We want them to be heard. But at the same time, we don't want to be controlled by them to the point that we start to lose 10 to 20 IQ points in our thinking brain, and that it takes over our existence, and then we're paralyzed for a short time before we can do anything to rectify whatever situation has come up. So we're moving from compulsion to choice, where previously we were this mind. We thought we were this mind, and this mind controlled us, and the mind's reactions controlled us and very much directed our behavior. Moving forward, well, we're going to move into a position of choice, where we learn what the individual emotion groups are. We learn what the individual emotion severities are. We understand this whole thing. We can see it in extreme clarity rising from our mind, and thus we have a choice. We have a choice of whether or not to allow that emotion to affect us to the level that we wish, that we previously had been subjected to, right? So we have a choice of separating from it just a little bit by seeing it in extreme clarity, right? And the second is, there's going to become a point where you get so good at down-regulating some of the stuff that comes up from your mind and kind of sidestepping it like a master of kung fu, that you're going to have a choice of whether or not to completely allow a reaction to arise in your mind. And this is the mastery level of mind mastery, in that you can diffuse negative reactions within your mind before they even fully come to fruition. Now, the other cool side of that choice is, when positive stuff arises, you don't have to do that. And you can let those things completely develop within you. So you can experience the happiness of a good report card, or you can experience the joy of a wonderful sunset, or a beautiful piece of music, or the feeling of the hot shower as the water rolls down your back on a cold winter's day. You can choose to decide what to let through your mind's processing and what not to let through your mind's processing. And again, this is the mind mastery level that we're going to be touching on, but which you're going to need practice to exhibit in the future or exercise in the future, okay? So this week, we're going to start with, and I know it may be the middle of the week for you, so over the next few days, we're going to start with identifying some of the individual emotion groups and the severities of the emotion within the group, which we actually name as different emotions within a group. I'll explain that shortly. But first, we have an exercise, okay? The exercise for today that we're going to use over the next day or so that you're going to do today is journaling about your fears. So we're going to go a little bit deeper on the equation of emotion. There are specific conditions that help determine which specific emotion is activated in your mind when something arises that's in imbalance, right? If there's an imbalance in the equation of emotion where your EP doesn't match your P, your expectation or preference doesn't match your perception of something, and an emotional reaction is therefore generated by your nervous system, well, there's some rules that your brain then uses to decide whether it's going to be fear or anger or sadness or worry or regret or disgust or a number of the myriad of emotions that can arise when there's an imbalance, right? The equation of emotion is very simple to say, well, if it's balanced, it's happy. If it's imbalanced, it's unhappy or negative emotion. If there's not one or the other, then there's no emotion that arises, right? That's pretty solid, irrefutable evidence of the basic of the equation of emotion being accurate. But what are the rule sets that your mind uses to decide whether it's fear or anger or sadness, etc.? Well, we're going to learn about those so that you can see those individual emotions in extreme clarity, and that gives you a better understanding of exactly what's going on in your mind, so you can better understand your mind, but also it tells you exactly what things you need to adjust or how you might need to adjust them to gain control of your mind again. So we're going to go over those. We're going to cover those rules in detail soon to show you what the equation of emotion rules are that just help decide the individual emotions. But your homework for today is 20 minutes of journaling. Set an alarm, and I want you to write for 20 minutes on these prompts. And if you run out of things to say, start over, grab the prompt again, and start over, and start a new thought, and allow your subconscious to spew with your intention to reach down from your conscious awareness into your subconsciousness and say, okay, sometimes I fear this, or sometimes I'm afraid that X, Y, Z, and you go and spew on that for 20 minutes if you can. And the prompts again are, sometimes I fear ... or sometimes I'm afraid that ... Sometimes I'm afraid there's a spider coming down from the ceiling, and I have to put him in a little piece of toilet paper so I can take him outside. Okay, so that's your homework. I hope this message finds you well. Finish that homework, and we'll start to use it for tomorrow and the next day's lessons, all right? Hope this finds you well, and I will talk to you soon.